Okay, I've got a request to do the 8 to 10 SAM Capstone project. So I'm going to click on that, and as always, it has 2 files to download. Alrighty, I've already gone through, downloaded the 8 to 10 instructions and the 8 to 10 startup file, the -1 file. Get the instructions going, got them here, okay, and get the, open the file. Of course, they all start with the same instruction at the beginning. That is to save it as a -2. Okay, so here we are. So our project steps. Let me make that a little smaller here. Okay, so okay, that should do it. That's good enough right there. Okay. I'm going to put these on the side. If you've got them downloaded, you should have them handy. I'll read them off as I do them, but I want to have a full screen for doing this. Okay, first one, as always, File, Save As, Save As, save it where we're at. I am working in a folder that I set up for the summer. Okay, just do this. Take the first, make it a 2, and we're good to go. Label content. All right, going through the instructions here. Okay, then we're going to say here, open the preview advertisers contact report macro. Okay, so what we're down here is we're down here in the macro. Preview advertisers contact report macro. Open it in design view. Here is our macro. Now what we're going to do is we are going to change the view argument. There's our argument for view. We're going to change it from report to print preview. Okay, got it. Close it. Save it. Close it. Okay, so now we're going to create a new macro. So we're going to go over here to database, create a macro. Okay, here's our macro. First thing we're going to do is we are going to then add a submicro, sub macro. Here's my sub macro. The first sub macro is going to be using the, it says here, we are going to, okay, we are going to do this as a open table action. Open table action. The table name that we are going to open in this case is going to be the attendees table, and then this is going to be, this macro is going to be saved as the open attendees table macro. Okay, and there you go. Now we're going to add a second sub macro, second sub one. This one's going to be called open registration table. Okay, and this is also going to be an open table. And the table it's going to open is obviously the registration table. Okay. All right. Open. This one should actually be changed to attendees. There we go. Open attendees table. Open tables. There we go. Good, good, good. Save the macro and save this whole shebang as the open tables. That's the whole thing. Okay. Say that okay. And then we can look at this. Scroll on down through our instructions here, and here's our page, and that should then look like, here we go, open tables, sub macro, open table, attendees, data sheet, edit, Okay, looks good. Okay, we can close that if we open it again. That ran the macro, excuse me. We want to open it in design view, and there it is. There it is. Open our tables, and then our page here should look exactly like their page. Wonderful. Okay, closing that, closing that. Next, now it says we're going to open the early registration table in datasheet view. Okay, early registration table. So here's our tables up here, early registration table. Okay, open the table in datasheet view, which is just open it like so. There it is. And we are going to create a macro for the table. Okay, so here is our table. Okay, and we're going to click the change button on the table tools. Table tools, before change. So now we are going to do, we're going to create a new macro here. Okay, and it's going to be, okay, we'd have to get this over there so we can see. See, it starts out with the word if. We double click if. Now what do we want to do? It says here, if the paid, and you have to watch your square brackets, if the paid, okay, is greater than, square bracket, and that was total, and see total fees comes up, so I can just double click it, let it do that for me. Then the next thing is then, okay, if this, then a new action is set field. See, I'm following my instructions here step by step. Name is going to be paid again. Okay. All right. Value equals total field. And there, total fees, excuse me. Double click to get it plugged in there for me. Okay. Then it's going to be here, value, total field. Okay. Then it's going to be here. They want us to do a else if. Add an else if, double click, and else if what? If, then we're going to do again, square paid, oops, there we go, paid, double click, if paid less than 0, okay, then what? And we're going to go here to an action, we're going to say then set field, and then the name is going to be paid again. In square brackets, watch the square brackets, and then the value has to be set to 0. Okay, click off it. See, there's our stuff. If we look at what they say here, if the paid is less greater than, do this, then set that, do that, looking like a piece of cake. Okay, then it should say end if at the end, which it does. Okay, confirm that it matches this, and you see how they've given us our printout here, which very closely matches our printout. Okay. Okay, then it says, if you look at the back here, save and close the macro. Okay, right click save, right click close, close the registration table. Okay, alrighty, then it says create a navigation form for the database with the following options. Okay, so we're going to create, it even says over here, a navigation form in the horizontal tabs layout. And it says we want to have exhibitors, advertisers, and sponsors. Okay, try to get this on one page. So we want the advertisers table, excuse me, we want the datasheet forms. Here's our forms here. We want our advertisers form first, drag and drop it. We want our exhibitors form, drag and drop it. And we want our sponsors, drag and drop it. Bingo, there it is. Now it says, okay, change the title to main nav. Oh, Okay. Change the title. Here's our title up here. So click in there, get in there till you can get in there and edit it and put in the word main. All right. And then it says, let's see if we can make that even a little smaller. Get the text a little bit smaller so I can see more, a little bit more on the screen. There we go. Okay, so then it says save the navigation form. Right click, save it as main navigation form. Okay, got it. It says switch to form view. Here's our views. If you see design, you'll have your views here. To form view. Now we can test it. Advertisers, exhibitors, sponsors. Ta-da. Okay, save the form as main navigation form. Done. And close it. Okay, that's what it's supposed to look like, and it did. Okay, now we're going to go here. Open the advertisers form in datasheet view. Okay, so advertisers form is here. Just double click, that's datasheet view. Okay. Click on the property. Now under datasheet, there's our property sheet right there. Now that opened up a box over to the right hand side over here. Okay, and then we are going to build button on the on click event. Okay, so that's an event on current. We want to go to on click. Click on it, pull the three dots, and we're going to pull up a macro builder. Say, it says here we want to have that. Okay, there is our macro builder. All right, so now in our macro builder, we're going to have, okay, so we got that. Select the advertiser ID column. Okay, so we've got this. We've got, alrighty. Just want to double check something. I'm going to step back for a second, close that for a second. And let's see. Okay. And we're going to select the property sheet. Okay, and we're going to click the build button, and we're going to see set temp var. Here we are, set temp var. There we go. So we're going to start doing this. Name, AN, expression, advertiser, ID. Double click. Okay. Next action. Open form. So what we're doing here, form name is going to be the advertiser master form. Okay. View form. File name. Now this is a little weird. Filter name. Just leave that blank. Where condition equal. Scooch this over a little bit. And we're going to see advertiser ID. Double click. Equals temp vars. Temp vars. And then they're using the exclamation. And they're typing in and. Now I'm going to put the square brackets around there. That time it didn't do it automatically. We want to make sure we copy this exactly. Okay, data mode shows nothing. Then next one, window mode should be the dialog. Okay, remove. Okay, now then it says. Okay. New action, remove temp var, and then name AN. Okay, confirm the macro match this. So we got this and this. And if you see AN advertiser, open form, going along. Everything looks to match their example. This looks like, it looks hard, but they've given you all the answers right here in the text. So it isn't that hard. Okay. So, okay, once we get that all done, then they say save and close the macro. Save and close the macro. Then it says close the form. Okay. Excuse me, cancel. Right click, save. Right click, close. Then it doesn't ask you. It doesn't bother you with that other stuff. Okay, so we got that done, that done. Okay, open the main form in layout view now. Okay. Okay, so open the main menu form. Okay, here's our form, main menu form in layout view. Right clicked on here to get this sub menu, layout view. There we are. Now it says here, and we're going to add in layout view, it says we are going to add the forms list form. So here's my forms list form. So I'm going to click on it, drag it, and drop it on add new right there, forms list. Okay. Then it says, as the last part, then it says rename the forms list tab. So if I just click on this, there we go, forms list tab, I get in there where I can edit it, and this is going to be called master forms. Okay. And then it says move the sponsors so that it appears as the first one. Now if I clicked on it, now when I click and hold, you notice there's a little line, let go, and there it is, sponsors. Now here's what they say it should look like. Okay, if you go to form view, this is there. If I go to form view, there. Now we're an exact match. Perfect. Okay, save, close. You never can, you can't save it too many times. Okay, open the Open Master Forms form. Okay, Open Master Forms. Okay, in Design View. Okay, here we go. So now what they're saying is, I see what we're going to end up with down here. I'm sort of fudging. We're going to add another button, a command button, and we're going to line them up. All right, so here we go. And it says, add a command button. This guy here is the command buttons. Right there, pause on it for a second, tells you button. Okay, click on it, now it's connected. They want this to be about here. I'm just going to do that. Here's my button. Okay, they walk you right through it. What's it going to be? It says miscellaneous category. Got it. Okay, what are we going to do? We want this to run a macro when you click on it. Okay, next. Now what's it going to do? It's going to say forms.open.workshop master form. Okay, next. The option text. And this is going to be, this is the text over there, and this is going to be open workshop master form. Okay, got it. Name the command button. Next, here's where we name the command button. And this is going to be open underscore workshop underscore master underscore form. Okay, here we go, just like they say. All right, finish it. Save it. You go save it, but don't close it. Okay, now because we're going to do some work here, we're going to line these things up a little better. All right, so I'm going to put that to the side. Give me a little word space here. Okay, so first thing we want to do is select the three buttons. So we want to double check something. Yeah, good. Okay, so you just grab a box and highlight those three. Now they're three selected. Okay, go to our arrangements, and here we go under sizing, and we want these to fit to the widest. Okay, sizing and spacing, we want them to space vertical, equal vertical. And then we want them to align to the left edge. Okay. So confirm that it matches so, and it looks good. They do tell you that you want this button here to be the top left corner of it. When I touch it, you want that to be on the 2.5 mark there, and this side. So you want this edge to be 2.5, you want this edge to be 4. Okay, looking good. Okay, now I'm going to save this again. All right, and it says confirm, save and close. Open the master forms form. Master, okay, confirm, save it, save and close it. Okay. All right, open the database in Backstage View. This was kind of poorly worded. Okay, open this in Backstage View. So what we're going to do is that just means go to the file. And this is your backstage. They don't really clarify that anywhere. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we are going to, okay, let's see. We're going to go here to, I think it's under options. And let me think here. Current database. Yeah, current database and what display form. They want us to form. Let's see here. Create a custom property for this database. Okay. I had that here a minute ago. Hold on a second. Close that. File. Oh, info. Info. There it is. And here's our, it says name of the property. Here is our database properties. There. So there it is. It's under info. All right. Then if we look at our gizmo here, they go to the custom side. And they say we want to set up something here. The property, it's going to be alrighty. So we are going to say it is the final. It is a date type, and the date is going to be 01 13 and 2020. Okay, confirm that our custom property matches this. Oh, we added, and there it is. Final has been added. They say don't worry if you got other things in there based on which version you're running. All right, there we go. Okay. With the database open in Backstage, now it says click on options. Here we go to the options tab. And we're going to select the main menu, and we are going to go to which display. So we're going to go there, we're going to go to current database, and now we're going to say display forms. And which form do we want to display? Select the main form menu. So which do we want to come up? It's the main form menu. So when you start this database, it's automatically going to put that up there. Okay, so startup form, there we go, main menu form, looking good, looking good. Okay. Oh, you have to close it and reopen it. Yep. Okay, open the attendees table in our, here's our attendees table in design view. Okay. And we're going to create a custom mask. So what they're saying is, go to the attendee ID here, and here's our input masks. And they want us to create a custom mask. They give you the hard stuff. This is the hard stuff. So if you say there, it's going to say letter, letter, and we go number, number, number. That's how you create a custom mask. So only if you put in a form in that format will it take it. Okay, save the changes to the file. to the table. Okay. With it still open in Design View, create a single field index on the last name field. Okay, last name field. We want it to be indexed. See, it says no, we want it to be indexed. So we say yes. It even says here, allow duplicates. Yes, and allow duplicates. Bingo. There we go. Save the changes. Okay, then it says close the table. Okay, open the advertisers table in Design View. Okay, now we're going to create what's called a multi-field index as described below. Okay, so we want to create an index. So here, if you're not in the Design tab, you want to click Index. We're going to create an index. This index is going to be called, let's see, contact name. Oops, my bad, got the caps lock button. Contact name, they will get all run together. And it's going to be based on the contact last name in ascending, and then they want it based on the first name in descending. So we've got last name, first name, it's all under one thing. Okay, that's been done. Now it says save the changes, close the table. So far so good. Open the early registration table in Design Road. Early registration table in Design View. Okay, so what they're going to do now is they're going to create a validation rule. Okay, so the paid field. Here's the paid field. Once you click on it, then here's where you would put your validation rule. Okay, here's a trick. I tried this before. Highlight this, do a Control C, click over here to validation rule, hit Control V. I tell you, when you type badly, you learn tricks like that. Okay, validation text, highlight it in the instructions, Control C, go back over here, and if you don't have, if that's too much of a pain, you can always just type it. But now I know I haven't messed it up. Okay, close the property. Okay. Now here's our property sheet over here. And we can do that. Okay, property sheet for that. Okay, I think that'll work. We'll see. I did it a slightly different way last time. We'll see if that works for us. Save. And it does say here that you'll get a, you may get an integrity, and they say click no, and continue to save it. Oop. Cannot use multiple columns in a column level. Alrighty, let's check that over again. Let me just, hold on a minute. Let me cancel this and not save. Early registration, open it in Design View. There's my table. And now let's do it over here. Here's our validation rule. Let's do it here. My bad. Okay. So I'll try that again. But instead of putting it down there, I'm going to do it here. I'm going to do it over in the property sheet. Like that. Okay. So I opened the property sheet for the whole table. And I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, now let's see what happens when I try to save it. And it says say no to this, and then save. Yep, just click no, and then it says continue saving the table. Good. Now we're going to create a blank form based on the application part. Okay, the application part is this little panel over here. So I'm going to do this. The application part, blank form. Okay, so it says here, and create a blank form. Okay, click here, one right there. And it says it will automatically create something here called forms single one column right labels. Single, that was just created automatically by just pulling that down and asking for it. With the pane open, switch to viewing these by custom. Okay, make sure you're viewing these by custom. It might have been set by object type. That's the way I usually have it. But I'm going to pull this here and I'm going to say set it to custom. I want that. Okay, now what we're going to do is switch and by the custom category named the custom category supporter information. Okay, all right, add the advertiser master form. Okay, advertiser master form up here. Come on, there we go, to the supporter information form and the exhibitor master form. Drag, and this is a little tricky. There and there. Okay, and now we're going to add a subgroup. Add, let's see here. Yeah, I think we click on that. Actually, this has to be up here. Let me get that out of there. Okay. Master form. Advertiser, and we want the exhibitor master form. These two in this bucket. Okay. Right click. Let's see here. Should be a way we can insert let's try this, see what happens. This is the new group to the supporter category. This is going to be support reports. Okay, that's there. What we're shooting for is this, supporter reports. Okay, then this is going to be on top of that. Okay, there's my supporter reports, and in the supporter reports, we're going to add advertiser contact, these here, and that's going to go into the supporter reports. So you see how we've got these. That took a little finagling. Okay. So there we have it, supporter report, supporter information. If I've got it spelled right, we're in good shape. Okay, so now we're going to create a new query in SQL view based on the workshop tables. Okay, workshops table is there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to create a query. I'm going to go in design view. And let's see. Okay, create a new query. So here's our query, and we're in SQL view. SQL view. And it says here, we want to select everything from the workshops table. So that is, watch this, there's a semicolon at the end. So we want to say select star from workshops. Okay, that's the workshops table. And then end with a semicolon. Okay, just try it. That means show me everything in the workshops table. Bingo, there's everything. The word, both fields, all done. Okay, save that as workshop query. Workshops query. Workshops query, workshops query. That's what it's supposed to look like, workshops query. And this is workshop, so wonderful. At least we're doing what they said. Okay, there you go. Open the, here's our queries. So, it says open our exhibitor query. Exhibitor query, right there. Open it. Design view. Design view lets you select the view, and it is SQL. Okay, so the SQL stuff is actually the easy stuff for me. Okay, so we're looking at this now. What you have to remember is there's our stuff. I know it's going to be a little small on your screen, but I can't make it any bigger on mine. Okay, so we're going to add the contact first name field to the select clause after the exhibitor name. Exhibitor name, click in there. Okay, so we're going to put in contact F name. Don't forget the comma and space. There's a comma and a space between each of these. Okay, I've added that. Let's run it to check it. Look at our stuff. We've added contact first name. And if I close this over, scoot it over, there, should look very similar. Looks good. Should be 5 record results, 5 record results. Got it. Save it, close it. Okay. Next one, open the early payments query. Early payments query in design view. There's our SQL view again. And what we're going to do is we are going to add a computed field to the select clause after the paid. Okay, so here's our paid up here. And then what we're going to do is to say comma, and we're going to say, let's see here, total fees minus paid. Okay. All right, let's see how that works. Here's our, it says expression. See, because we go back here, go back to our SQL view, and we have our, instead of as expression, we want this word here to, after the as, to be remaining. Actually, yes. As remaining. Okay, there we go, as remaining. Run it. There we go, remaining. Slide this down. There we go, as remaining. Looking good. Okay, now it says 13 records, looks good. Okay, now I'm sure it says save and close. Save and close, got it. Next one, open the registration criteria query. Alrighty, okay, registration criteria query in design view. Here's our stuff. Now we're going to use a where clause. Okay, where means is how you start filtering. Okay, it says where, and we're going to say here, now the trick is, from registration, you got to backspace, get that semicolon out of there, and start the new line, where. And I guess I could capitalize it all, it's easier to read. The reserved words, okay, and Now it says here what we want to do is where registration fee is less than $150. Registration fee is the name of the field we're talking about. Less than $150. Piece of cake, and then hit the semicolon. Don't forget your semicolons. Okay, now we hit that, and there we go. So only things less than $150. We look at our result, and okay. There should be 6 records. Okay, 6 records. Got it. Save it. Close it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add an OR clause. They've got this one here where they're saying attendee states queries. Attendee state queries right there. Okay. Now what they're doing here is they're saying where the state is equal to New York. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do this. We're going to put in an OR clause. And here, I think we can just put in OR. Let's spell it out. Or state equal Massachusetts. I guess. Let's try that. Here we go. So now we got Massachusetts or New York as our state. Here's our picture of what it's supposed to look like. Save it. Close it. Okay. Open the registration workshop query. Registration workshop query in design view. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do an AND. So this is where they're equal to 1. Okay. Here's where it's equal to 1. Okay. It says here in which the field is equal to 175, and this we're going to okay. Looks like that's already done for us. Okay, the way it's supposed to look is here, where registration fee is equal to 175. This might be left over from the last time I did it, and workshop ID equals 1, and then the semicolon. Add an AND clause. It's kind of weird. Or gives you more results because it's this or that, both. And gives you less results because it has to match both this and that in order to be considered a successful hit. Okay, so there's our deal, there's our run, there's our answer. Looking good. Okay. Make sure I save it, make sure I close it. Open the Maryland County query. Okay. Maryland County query in design view. Now what we're going to do is we're going to modify the select clause here, select clause, to count the number of attendees. Okay, so what we want to do is we say, okay, the attendee ID, and it says we're going to put in this, they're giving you all the hard stuff, count, and then the field we want to count there, count attendee ID, and we're going to say, this is going to say select count ID as state count. State count. See, so it's going to make the title of the column state count. So this tells us that there are 4 people from Maryland. 4 people from Maryland showed up. Save it, count it. Now we've got that. Looks good. Now we're on the next one. Okay, to join query. Okay, here's our join query. Open it in design view. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add a where clause. Where is going to start giving us some criteria to match. Okay, now what we're going to do is where, it says from registration and attendees. So it's going to, watch out, make sure you get rid of that last semicolon. Okay, so we're going to add a where clause. Where? We've already told it we want to deal with 2 separate tables, registration table and attendees table. Okay, So now it says the common field is the attendee ID. Okay, so we're going to do this. We're already saying from this, we're going to get a list of them where, and we can do this, and we can just say registration table dot attendee ID is equal to the, and you got to spell these right or it's going to yell at you. Okay, is equal to the attendees table dot attend. Now you probably don't have to spell this out all the time. Okay, watch my spelling. So we're saying whenever the attendee ID in the registration table is equal to the attendee ID in the attendees table. When these two numbers are the same, semicolon, and now let's see, run it. There it says there should be 35, and there's our 35 right down here. It says there should be 35 done, and that worked. Okay, save it, close it. If you want another look at that, that's good. Okay, there's what we should look like. Let me just pop it in again. Bing, bing. There it is. There's everybody matching. If we wanted to look at the sequel again, here we go. I spell it always out. When I'm doing class, I spell it out. There are shortcuts when you get better at SQL, but let's spell it out for here. Okay, looking good. Okay, close it. Now it says sponsor name query. Sponsor name query. Open it in Design View. There we go. And what we're going to do is we're going to use financial supporter as the corner. Okay. So all they're going to do is they have the sponsor name field here. Okay. And we're going to, they just want to change the name. If I run this right now, you'll see that sponsor name comes up here. Okay. Now what they want us to do is change this and just make a different title on the display when it finds it. Financial supporter. Okay. As just lets you change the title from sponsor name to financial supporter. Bingo bango. Financial supporter. Financial supporter. Everybody's happy. Save and close. Open the sort query in Design View. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to put these in order. Now it says here what we want to do is modify the query to sort the records in ascending order. Okay, now what you do is, again, the way this is, it's always select, from, where, by, and order and grouping. That's the sequence of events in SQL. Okay, so what you have to do then is just after the advertisers, they want it in ordered by advertiser name. Let me just see. Okay, so you just do what they say. Order by, then you can say which field do you want it in order by, and that's advertiser name. And don't forget, always have to have one semicolon at the end of the whole sequence of commands. Bingo bango, B to P. B to P. Okay, it's in ordered by the right thing. The names are there. The content is there. Save it and close it. Now we're going to group them. There's one over here called grouping by. So, you know, we got these things. And what they want to do is they want to do a modify the query, and we want to group them by state. Okay. All right. So we've got the select statement. We're going to count how many IDs from there, from, and then all we want to do from attendees, and we want to add state. Where do they have that? Okay, they want state Okay, add state to the select. State should appear before the count. Okay, so you just go over here. We want it to put in the state field, and then the comma space. Don't forget your syntax. Then do that. And then from attendees, and then we're going to say group by state. Okay. And now, oops, and then order by state. Okay. Now, okay. Now, kind of a thing there. They tell you to go by ascending order. It's ascending order naturally. You don't have to mess with it. Unless you want it the other way, then you have it. Then you say descending order. Now it's descending order. Okay, you don't have to worry about it. If you don't put anything in there after order by state, it's automatically in ascending order. Let me just double check that, make sure it works. Yep, California to Wisconsin. Okay, run the query, ensure that the results, you see that, and then it counted how many people from California. Got it, got it. Close it, save it, close it. Just make sure you close everything else. And then, let's just close everything. Okay, now I'm going to look at my folder here, and I'm going to look at my -2 is much later than my -1. Okay, so now all I got to do is find my page here, see if it hasn't fallen asleep on me or, you know, gone dormant because I've been messing so long. Take my -2, drag and drop it, likes it, submit it. And this was a pretty good project. Okay, let's look at my summary report. Now I noticed something when I downloaded this. I get an error message up here where I've got to tell this thing to actually open the file. Well, let's see, open the file and go down here to my grading report. 96 out of 100. What did I miss? What did I miss? Not much. Wow. Oh, okay. Value of 175 and a workshop ID of 1. Okay, so I missed one thing on that thing. Okay, that's the registration workshop query. Okay, let me just go over there and check that. Registration workshop query. Open this up in design view. Looks like I've got it. Workshop ID of 1, registration fee of 175. I guess I would complain to them. I like my answers. Okay, guys, I think we're pretty good. You take care, and send me an email. Hit the like button if you like it. Take care. Bye-bye.